So hello there and welcome back to the channel. This is Mel's Gaming here with another The Hunter Call of the Wild video. Once again we are here on Sundarpatan and I have some trophies to share with you all. Starting off here with a beautiful piebald female nilgai. Now in early access I was fortunate enough to harvest 2 piebald males, but I had never seen a piebald female. So I was actually really interested to see what the piebalds look like for the females, and she's so pretty. And I do end up taxing this even though it is a female, because I hope that one day maybe we'll see a nilgai multi-mount, and this would be a perfect contender to go in a multi-mount with those bulls. She is absolutely gorgeous. That patterning is fantastic. But not only did I find one piebald female nilgai, I actually ended up finding a second. And immediately I noticed that this was a different pattern. Now I found that really interesting because in early access, as mentioned, I did end up harvesting 2 piebald bulls and they had very different patterns. And when I actually looked at these 2 females, I was like, these have 2 very different patterns as well. Now I haven't seen any more patterns for the piebald nilgai, so I'm guessing that there's probably 2 for the males and 2 for the females. It also appears that there are no other rares for nilgai. I've seen no other rares other than piebalds harvested, and at this point I would have expected if there were albinos or melas or anything that we would have seen some harvested. So I'm thinking piebald is the only rare for nilgai, but this pattern especially is stunning. Like, this is gorgeous. All the little details on this pattern are just stunning. Like, that is beautiful. Now this clip is going to get a little bit cut short because I got killed by a tiger, but still a gorgeous nilgai. And speaking of gorgeous, I ended up having this show up on my tar grind in single player. A level 3 black fur type male tar. Now we knew that this was one of the rares, and this is just absolutely stunning to see in game. It actually reminds me of a melanistic red fox in real life, or as they're often called, a silver fox, because it has those kind of similar tones to it. That very dark black fur and then those beautiful sort of greyish silver furs on the top and around the neck. I mean, that is absolutely just gorgeous. I mean, that might be my favourite rare for the tar. I haven't seen an albino yet, but that is stunning. I have seen a dark brown, which I got on a live stream with Flinter, and I have seen dark red, and I've also seen white, you know, so I've seen a few of the different rares in game, but so far this one is my favourite. Absolutely beautiful. Now, moving on to the next clip, and we have one of my favourite trophies so far from this map. This is a level 5 Northern Red Munjack. Now, if you saw my in focus video for the Muntjac during early access, you may have seen that I ended up getting trolled by one of these little guys. However, the second one that I managed to get in my single player actually did end up making diamond at 35.94, and he is gorgeous. There's some really good antlers on this buck. I'm really actually impressed with how the big level 5s look. I mean, that's beautiful, and I expect they can get, you know, even bigger than this, but that is really nice. That's what I would expect from a trophy Muntjac. That is absolutely beautiful. I'm so happy with this trophy. Absolutely fantastic. But if you know me, you'll know that rares are the thing that I get most excited for. And in multiplayer, I had the most insane experience. We have an albino doe here on this lake, and on the other side of the lake, as you will have just seen me spot, is actually a melanistic level 2 buck. Now, I had had a couple of leucistics during early access, and the only other rares that seem to exist for Monjack are melanistic and albino, and I really wanted to get specimens of both of those rares because they look absolutely stunning. And then I come to this lake in multiplayer, and there's a melanistic buck and an albino doe at the same lake. absolutely insane. I was in this server for hours going through all of the different animal populations because it was effectively a brand new fresh server, and I was just finding nothing. Had some really good success with foxes, which I'll talk about later, and then went straight to Muntjac after hunting foxes and had even more insane luck. Just incredible. This albino is so beautiful. I'd really love to get a buck, but even this doe, she's just so gorgeous. The pink nose, the pink hooves, blue eyes, the eyelashes, everything. It's just such a beautiful model. I love these little guys. And then we have the Melanistic Buck. This thing is insane. The mela for these guys it's so jet black that unless you're really close to them, they just look like a shadow. I mean, you can almost, like, see no features. There's almost no distinguishable features until you get close. And it's just insane. And then when you get close, you can see the antlers and the little tusks. But just, it's insane. Like, even close up here, like, the eyes and the nose and everything, it just all blends into that velvety black coat. What an incredible looking rare. I've seen a few of these posted and I was like, okay, I really want one of those. They look amazing. And then I end up getting 2 rares at the same lake. It's insane how that ends up going. Call of the Wild does this sometimes. You'll spend so long looking for something, and then you end up getting 2 back to back. And that's exactly what happened here. Just incredible. And I must have picked up his track on the way over here with all of the other Muntjac tracks that I was picking up and just not got the disturbed veg, because you can see that tracking distance. And I thought that was, you know, so funny that I didn't actually pick up the disturbed veg for this guy, because if I had, I would have freaked out. And when I spotted him, I freaked out, and then I saw the albino and just everything went crazy. What an amazing rare. I'm so stoked about that. Now, I mentioned that also I had some insane luck with Tibetan foxes in this server. Well, I found a few really cool trophies. Like I said, I was in this server for legitimately hours, maybe 4 or 5 hours, checking snow leopards, tar, nilgai, yak, everything. Found nothing. And then foxes and Muntjac, back to back, found several trophies of each. This guy was a really nice sized diamond at 6.47. He's my second ever diamond Tibetan fox. He was literally right outside an outpost too, so that was really cool. Shot was maybe a little bit high, but still got those lungs, and of course got that harvest check, and he is a gorgeous diamond fox. On the same server, kept continuing to check all the foxes and found a second 9 legendary. And dropped this one also with the 243 handgun. And this guy's actually the orange fur type, which is interesting because I hadn't had a trophy with the orange fur type. And he's a really good sized diamond at 6.73. He's my biggest diamond fox for the Tibetan fox. And you can see he's almost max weight at 5.97 kg. So quite a bit bigger than the previous diamond. And it's also interesting with the orange fur type, you can see they've got sort of more shaggy fur than the reds, like the previous diamond we just harvested. So there is actually quite a different look to them, not just the like fur colour itself. So that was really, really cool. Now, we're going to go to a different multiplayer session for this clip, and then we're going to go back to the previous multiplayer session, because I wanted these clips to be in this order. This was the first rare Tibetan fox I ever found. Like I said, this is a different multiplayer server at this point. And I knew it had to be one of only a couple of rares because I spotted it from across the lake and I could not see the fox. I could just get its outline. And I was pretty confident it would be a melanistic, got closer to it, and sure enough, it is a absolutely freaking stunning melanistic Tibetan fox. These guys are gorgeous, and I don't know if this is going to make sense to anybody else, but especially when she was there sort of floating in the water, it reminded me of a mini grey wolf. Now, I don't know why, but it just had that vibe to it. I think it looked so similar to some of the pictures I've seen of, like, pure black wolves in real life, and she's just so gorgeous. Again, sort of like the black fur type tar, having the sort of silvery colour in there as well, not just a pure jet black like the Muntjac, but having some of those silver elements as well. Just beautiful. But now, back to the previous server, where I said I had some insane fox luck, and I didn't even need to look with the binos to spot this thing. I knew as soon as I came up over the ridge that there was a rare fox here. And this was actually, funny enough, the first of those 3 trophies that I ended up spotting, but because of how video editing goes, I want this one at the very end, because this was one of my dream trophies to get off of this map. That is an albino Tibetan fox, and not only is it an albino, it's a level 7 male, so I knew as long as I made a good shot, he was going to be a gold, which I was so stoked about. I mean, look at this thing. As soon as I saw one of these posted, I was like, yeah, that's one of my dream trophies for this map. You know, aside from rare snow leopards and rare Muntjac, this was one of the things I wanted the most. This might be the cleanest albino in the entire game. I jokingly said when talking to Flinter about it, I said these albino foxes look like they take baths every day. Like, they're so clean. Like, just not a speck of dirt on it. It's like angelic, glowing. That is just insanely gorgeous. And it just shows, you know, you can spend hours and hours and hours and hours in a single server in multiplayer, and then you find all of the trophies back to back. It's so funny how that happens in Call of the Wild. I've had it happen to me several times. You check every population of every animal and you're like, there's just nothing in this server. And then all of the trophies are just like in 1 or 2 species. And it just seems to happen that way, especially with initial spawns. And that's what happened in this server. There was a couple of nice trophy Muntjac and some insane foxes. But this was, like I said, one of my absolute dream trophies from Sundarpatan. When I saw one of these posted, and I ended up getting one, and it's a good size male. Just so gorgeous. The pink nose, the pink eyes, it has pink paw pads. And like I said, it's so clean. Like, some of the other albinos, you know, maybe have, like, a little bit of dirt sort of colour in their fur, too, to sort of make them look a little bit more realistic, because, obviously, in real life, albinos aren't always going to be pure white, because, you know, just living out in the wild, they're going to get dirt and dust and stuff on them, but this is just pure white. So clean. And that's what you know, it really stood out to me, and I really wanted to get one. There's also leucistic for these guys. There's a rare called Smoke, which looks beautiful. There's the rare, which is called Sand, which looks beautiful. Very reminiscent of the leucistic grey fox, in my opinion. But yeah, there's some other beautiful rares, but I've ended up getting the Melanistic and the Albino as my first 2 rares for this species, and I am so stoked. I can't tell you. When I came up over that ridge and I just saw this white glowing thing in the distance, I lost my mind, because I knew there was only one thing it could be. I knew it had to be an albino, and I was just losing my mind. And then I pulled the binos up, and, you know, it's a good sized male. It just couldn't have been any more perfect. What a gorgeous, gorgeous fox. I'm so stoked. But that is going to be it for this video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. There's going to be a lot more trophy videos coming from Sundarpatan hunting. I'm hunting this map every day, whether it's in single player, grinding for Great One Tar, or going into multiplayer and looking for amazing animals like this. So I cannot wait to see what I end up finding. But that is going to be it for this one. I'm so stoked, and I cannot wait to share this one with you all. And hey, just thank you. Just thank you all so much. I said this in the previous video, but just again, thank you all so much for all the support and stuff recently. It's been an insane couple of weeks at this point, and I'm just so incredibly grateful to you all, so thank you so much. But that is going to be it for this one, so thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.